Monster Energy Cup Series racing from Indianapolis, telecast presented by Golden Corral. So many storylines, nearly as many agendas. There's the race to keep your season going, but what about those trying to mix things up?
Those drivers fighting to be in the playoffs. At the end of this race, you're either in or you're out. Everyone fighting for every position on the racetrack. Every position is a point. Kevin Harvick, Paul Menard in the front row, bringing the field to the green flag. The Brickyard 400's underway. 2 by 2. Fighting for position. Harvick has the advantage as he goes into one.
Kevin Harvick will break free of the field, and he will break into the clean air. That'll leave Paul Menard to race side by side with Joey Logano. Couple of boards racing there. As they stack up further back, Harvick gets the break and set sail for the first time off two.
Joey Logano gets the help from Clint Boyer down the back straightaway as they go by Paul Menard. Now Brad Keselowski to the outside of a 21 car down here into turn 3. The field drives down into turn 3 for the first time. Paul Menard clearing Kurt Busch into 3.
You see how they lined up on Paul Menard on the outside. Kurt Busch trying to go with him. That's opened the door for Jimmy Johnson to drive underneath Kurt Busch. And turn 4 hits into 3.
Jimmy Johnson's trying to break up the Ford parade that's up front right now. The top 5 are all Fords. Jimmy Johnson running in the 6th position as he crosses the yard of bricks.
Right sides, guys, right sides.
Smoke rolling out of the 41. An issue for Daniel Suarez, who was fighting to be in the playoffs, and the caution comes out.
It looks like there's damage on the right side of the car.
Now we'll fix it all.
Looks like there's damage on the right side. Right here, it's William Byron. He gets up the track, and right behind him, the 41 of Daniel Suarez. The first contact looked okay, but then it kind of pulled the right front end. This is on board on the helmet cam. Watch this. You're trying to carry the momentum, trying to stay in the gas. You saw the second hit. The right rear hit, it wasn't that bad. It pulled the right front end, and then instantly it filled the cockpit with smoke. That is big trouble for a playoff contender. He was running 22nd pit road. Well, here in the middle of pit road, way more than contact. 37 cars on Indianapolis pit road, not enough room. Here you have it. The guy that Chase Elliott checks up. He gets run into from behind, spins out, almost into the pit stall of Jimmy Johnson. Unreal. 13 laps into the Brickyard. A little bit of chaos on the racetrack, even more chaos on pit lane.
To see some crazy things on track, but this has been wild.
Yeah, so Jimmy Johnson comes down into his pit box, starts his pit stop, and we talk about how narrow. Look at this. So fortunate for that pit crew. The 43.
What else he has to say
double turn number 1. Hard contact for Ryan Blaney. Make that another car. Slamming into the outside wall. They come into turn number 2. It's Landon Castle. Landon Castle just pile drives the turn 1 safer barrier, and he rides the wall all the way through 1 and all the way through 2. Ricky came behind on the end of the front straightaway, and they hard shot into the barrier. Something let loose on the right front, probably a tire going down there, right in front of Ricky Stenhouse Jr. Landon Castle at this point along for the ride and into the wall. Wow, what a hit. Brad Keselowski, Eric Jones is sideways. He and Keselowski make contact. Keselowski and Jones into the outside wall, and Brad will slam hard into the inside wall. Massive, massive collision for Brad Keselowski, who makes just a hellacious hit into the inside wall off turn 2.
And it looks as though that car's sideways, maybe up on top. Yeah, it's up on top of the tire barriers. So Brad Keselowski, you see the window net is down, but hard contact for the 2 and Brad Keselowski into those tire barriers. He's going to try to climb out of that car. And he hops up.
Eric Jones tries to feel the hole and it's very tight right there. Brad coming down the 20, trying to get in that position, and it took all the air off the right side of that 20 car. Eric Jones getting a little bit loose there underneath the 2.
Passenger side contact.
Actually, I think those tires were very well placed. That wall is kind of an opposite angle. So while it looks very dangerous up on its side like that, I think that protected Brad from hitting kind of a negative angle against a very solid wall. This is another view. Look at the 20 with a huge impact, and then the 2 slides across the left side right here. And as I mentioned, those tire barriers, Jeff, why? You know, they look vicious.
Straightaway, trouble on the back straightaway. The 18 car of Kyle Busch going up in smoke. I don't know if he's got a left front tire down. Oh, no, that's an engine failure right there. Big engine failure in that car. Fire under the hood at 18.
He was just on pit road, so that was coming off of pit road, getting back up to speed, going down the backstretch, and now all of the smoke. It stays green. Green flag pit stops continue to cycle through.
That's the big key. It stayed green. Jimmy Johnson currently second. Be a huge break if he could get a yellow. He has yet to make a pit stop. We see the 18. I think he got to the access road, though. Kept the fluid off the racetrack. Here he is coming to pit road. You heard Dale Jr. call it right in front of you, Jr.
Yeah, he just down the back straightaway. A lot of cars around him. Close the engine down the back straightaway quickly to the access road. That's going to allow this race to stay under green.
One thing these teams do, think about this. You think about this, guys. The 18 car, they know they're in the playoffs. They already had the regular season championship locked up. Maybe Toyota trying something different with engines today. Obviously, they don't build something knowing it's going to blow up, but maybe a little bit of an experimental engine in this car today.
Well, a lot of smoke, and the caution has come out. Jimmy Johnson is up front when the caution came out.
Gets absorbed in. I think it'll make him better on the racetrack.
And this is officially the finish of stage 2. So it will be the green and white checkered flag for the 4 of Kevin Harvick. Again, the playoff point, winning the stage.
And they're lined up 2 and 3 wide behind. Runner back Jimmy Johnson. 3 wide to the inside. Johnson goes around hard into the wall. Kurt Busch is there. Paul Menard is involved. Others are trying to avoid Jimmy Johnson, whose playoff hopes have just ended here at lap 104 in the Brickyard 400.
Yep.
Just at the stage.
Bring it to
take more
us.
than
Bring it
points.
to us. You okay? Yeah, I'm fine. I'm just curious why we were in that position.
There you have it. Jimmy Johnson was down at the bottom of the racetrack, and there was a lot of competition for the position he had. But look at the side of that race car. And we heard it too. That car destroyed. Coming through 1 and 2. Again, Jimmy Johnson was running in the 7th position.
So let's take a look here and see why Jimmy was in the position he was in. There he is on the inside, making up ground here, trying to draft their 3 wide right there. I don't know, Jimmy just doesn't think he had enough room down here. His teammate very tight on his door. That was the Byron car, but I don't know if Jimmy knew they were 3 wide. We've seen it already at one time over there today with Eric Jones. The car's losing a ton of side force. And they get really close together in turn 2. Just sucked the 48 car right around.
Yeah, the one car, Kurt Busch, he just had some issues and just got up the racetrack, and that allowed both of these guys to get underneath them. And you said it. I mean, when you get underneath somebody like that, it's easy to get the air taken off of your spoiler, and just around they went, 3 wide. Just normally doesn't work very well at Indy. It's just not a wide racetrack, enough groove. Well, what do? Jimmy Johnson's got to push. He's got to make something happen.
Still out there. 2 out there. 2.
See the view he has.
Still 2. Still 2.
Oh, he's been told 2. The whole time he's been told 2. He's got a spotter.
Yeah, he knows he's got 2 guys out there if he's listening to the spotter.
Ready, guys.
But the 24 just gave him no room.
Change the car just a bit tight for
We got a
your
spin
tires.
off of turn 2.
The spin.
Hard contact with the inside wall. Kyle Larson getting loose or getting some help on the turn 2. There you hear it. He lost control of the car. Off of turn 2 into the inside wall. There you see him behind, I think the 10 car. Eric Almirola just loose. I mean, you wouldn't even think with the spoiler on the back of that car that these cars could be that out of shape, that hard to drive, but obviously not comfortable, not in the racetrack. Now he's unfortunately at a bad angle to the inside wall. Nothing to do there that he can prevent from that contact he has there. Luckily, the soft wall on the inside as well, lessen the impact.
And Steve, you mentioned a bad break for the 41. Might actually end up being a good break for the 41. He was the first car scored 1 lap down, so he's going to get the free pass.
Off turn number 1 through the short chute. Battle is on for 3rd. Logano to the inside of Wallace. Contacted Alex Bowman. outside wall.
And how close was that for Clint Boyer?
Let's take another look. Here's Alex Bowman, the row behind the 22 and the 43. He's on the bottom inside the 11. Much like we've seen the 11 squeezing him, and he's squeezing him because he knows he has to get the run. The 88 goes through this gigantic slide. A great save. We call that the tank slapper. It goes back and forth and then down the track. Clint Boyer is like, can we please, 25 laps to go. Can we get this over with?
Yeah, look at the Newman in the 6 right behind that 88 as he goes sideways.
You always ask how, when during an accident does a race car driver stop driving? Never. Alex Bowman drove that thing off the outside wall.
Likes the pressure. The chance of him making a mistake is very, very small.
He is rising to the occasion. 1 lap to go. Presented by Credit One Bank. 2.5 miles around the Brickyard. The 16th spot still up for grabs.
Kevin Harvick is already leaving turn 2. Meanwhile, Daniel Suarez trying to put as much pressure on Paul Menard as possible. It could be too much, too little, too late. Suarez and Menard race their way off turn 2 for the final time this afternoon.
Suarez closes in. This is pretty close. I don't know, he might have an opportunity to try to get in a position here, but still not going to be enough.
And making the final turns here at the historic Brickyard, Kevin Harvick has won before. He's going to win again. Kevin Harvick wins the Brickyard 400.
Brickyard 400, baby! Awesome job, guys. Great job. Awesome job. Unbelievable.
And Newman able to stay in front of Suarez, meaning that Newman gets the 16th and final playoff spot. It will be Clint Boyer and Ryan Newman taking spots 15 and 16 in the playoffs. And Kevin Harvick wins in the Monster Energy Cup Series for the 3rd time in 2019. What a dominant performance, leading 118 laps today.
We talked a lot about playoffs. We talked a lot about different scenarios for different drivers, but this is Indianapolis Motor Speedway. This is a Brickyard 400. Kevin Harvick is a champion. This is a crown jewel race. This is the type of trophy that goes in the front of your trophy case. This may be the type of trophy and the type of win that lights a fire in Kevin Harvick. Into the playoffs, heading towards Miami. 10 races out for a championship, and he just won one of the biggest races in NASCAR. Didn't make that mistake again, controlled the race.
This victory fueled by Sunoco. Fuel your best. And all those teammates know that in just a few minutes, they will have the opportunity of a lifetime. They get to kiss the bricks at a racetrack over a century old, where the greatest race car drivers have raced and have won. The Yard of Bricks. The unofficial 16 that will race for a championship over the next 10 races. And again, we mentioned unofficial until everyone gets through tech inspection. But the 2 names at the bottom, Boyer and Newman, added their names to the list. Those are the points that they will start with, all of the playoff points that they have been able to accrue through the 26 races of regular season. Kyle Busch again winning the regular season championship. He will have a 15-point lead over second place Denny Hamlin as the playoffs will get underway in Vegas next week.
See the burnout from Kevin Harvick at the 4. I have no idea what to expect when cars take the track in Las Vegas. I mean, if this race today is any sort of sign, it is going to be chaos. It's going to be aggression. Or perhaps is it going to be dominance out of this man? Kevin Harvick, we didn't really talk about him all weekend. Nothing in practice said, man, watch Kevin Harvick. He's going to be the guy. Well, man, we missed something because he came out, won the pole, then dominated this race. 118 laps led. Very, very impressive performance.
8.5 seconds behind.
And saluting the fans here. We were able to enjoy that win. And it was hard fought. It was a dramatic day today. So many restarts. The one time that he decided to go on the inside lane on a restart, he lost the lead and learned quickly he had to restart on the outside. The last 2 restarts, he chose the outside and was able to hold on to the lead.
Yeah, fortune turned. He was on pit road with that caution wave. That kind of gave him that one spot back. He wasn't far behind. And once he got it back, he was not going to give it up. Celebration continues.
As I mentioned, the last time he won here was 2003. Think about that. 16 years ago for Kevin Harvick. And his career has just continued to blossom as he goes past the yard of bricks. And he will be collecting the checkered flag. You see the crew members up on the wall waiting for their driver to climb out. What a battle it was today for Kevin Harvick. And he's victorious once again at this racetrack.